minimal overdunk on the top side.
Yeah, and that was intentional by G. They had the opportunity to stop it, and they immediately, just rather than stop it, they got in position for the spawns, the Indeedee spawns they were going to get. So you can tell that they were like, yeah, we want this to happen. We do not...
A very minimal overdunk on the top side.
Yeah, that was intentional by G. They had the opportunity to stop it, and they immediately, just rather than stop it, they got in position for the spawns, the Indeedee spawns they were going to get. So you can tell that they were like, yeah, we want this to happen. We do not... Advantage, ridiculous points advantage for so early on. I mean, we're 6 minutes left and they've got over 100 points. This is looking so good for them. This
Good
in
morning,
particular, this Mimikyu,
Ohio.
not to say that it was like bad play, but it just got shut down, and that was the goal. I think that was absolutely the goal when you choose Buzzwole. It's knowing that you have somebody up top that you can not just like sort of win against, but like really dominate.
Well, at this point in time, they do hit their Unite move, so we have to play with Weave from Mimikyu, and we have the Bliss assistance from Blissey. So Mimikyu, when they jump onto a target with Play With Me, if they can be knocked off, if they take a certain amount of damage. However, if you Bliss assistance that target while they are capturing an enemy Pokemon, you do have the chance to give them a little bit longer time to get that KO,
I'm
if
watching
at all
Championship,
possible. But
and
G really giving up no free knockouts
I was
anywhere
going
on the
to
map.
do
Even if Umber Volpe was getting a creative flank, it feels like the G always
standard
has the
battles, but
This is going to be a really interesting, like,
I'll
maybe,
try
all the rest of the team fights
round.
basically from here on out, but especially the final team fight. There's so many solo target unites that are going to be really, really important, right? You got to solo target the Emerald 2-step, you got to solo target the slow beam, you got to solo target
I don't
the
think I've
Bliss
slept
assistance at the
much.
right time, you got to solo target exactly what you want with the Mimikyu. There's just a lot of, there's not a lot of like just big AoE Hydro Typhoon type moves. It's a lot of, we got to choose specific targets at specific times. Speaking of that, the slow beam going to start that off for a big KO on the Glaceon. That's a great way to initiate. They're going to be taking on the Blissey as well. Mimikyu getting extremely low and kind of got exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, didn't even get the KO before the finishing the Unite move. They're actually knocked out before they could even finish that final hit. When they had the enemy target such low HP, while Black currently on a KO streak of 3. His Mystical Fire Sylveon is prancing around these enemy targets and just dealing this devilish amount of damage, if I'm honest. Like, these would be haunting my nightmares, this evolution in particular. It's been amazing all day, and Black
Presto, but
up a
without
great
the
performance on it
experience,
in our
yeah.
game number 1.
This is looking really good for GG, obviously. But the big thing is that they do have, it's not that their team doesn't scale well, but their team doesn't super scale. And the biggest fear here is going to be the potential damage that we could maybe see from the Glaceon and the Inteleon later on, once we get even higher level with Umbra Vulpium. They do need to catch up pretty bad.
Wow, that's level
there is an
difference.
opportunity that G just continues to shut them down in every
Oh,
turn.
G.
As right now they're going to be going for this Regi Ice. There is going to be a counter
Oh,
engagement. They are
level
going to be able to
13
secure that
and
Regi Ice
level
before anything else
11.
happens. A KO on the Eldegoss, not
That'd
the
be
biggest
really
target.
hard.
They could also get a KO
In
over
3
here
minutes?
onto the Slowbro. Still not the biggest target. Obviously, they would have liked to KO one of the level 13s, but they got the 11s. Still, this is not nothing.
Yeah, Riker and Hero comboing their abilities extremely well, but nice response from Zealot as they got the Emerald 2-step to deal a ton of early damage. But OG stealing the show, KO streak of 2, and they want even more. Blissey down next. Is this level, let me check, 14 Buzzwole is just rocking through the entire enemy team. A KO streak of 3
Hello,
for them.
hello, good
And
morning.
it's truly looking like an
I don't
ultra
even know
beast
if
here
I'm
on Theta
speaking
Sky
properly.
Roads.
It is. There's a great opportunity for them to take the
Am I?
Regi Alecki at a pretty late timing here. They can even maybe delay it if they want to. There is going to be a little bit of a check from this Blissey up top. They are going to see this Regilecki's basically already gone. They're not going to waste too much time. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, still an amazing time to take Regilecki, especially with Tier 1 Gold Zone down. They're going to have to deal with that for a while to
Oh.
really stop them from getting as much farm as they want
Nice.
to, catching up in the late game. But Umbra Vulpium
Are
has
you
done a good
watching
job
the
of staying
championship?
relatively close in the points department.
Regional.
Their levels are not terrible. They just don't have a level 14.
Yeah, it's just some great counter pushes by Umbra Vulpium. It's one of the big things that are holding them in this game still. Glaceon and Inteleon are both at level 13, but yeah, level 15
Yeah.
Buzzwole is going to be terrifying. They do not have that crazy infinite combo ever since those recent nerfs to Buzzwole, but still a very formidable
so.
threat, especially when you throw on the
Well, I like it
Super
though, I
School
don't-
Slam Unite in the final moments
Nice
of
crash,
that
oh.
combination play.
If you one-shot somebody, it's kind of an infinite, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, it's just until the end. So then that works. And all you need to do is be level 15. Right now, a little bit of pokes going into Rayquaza. No damage really at all. Both teams realizing they're very close in points. Nobody really wants to be the one to start it. Of course, Umbra Vulpium knows they're just slightly behind. The threat of a back cap is there, but an interesting sort of engagement up in the top. This is not usually where these fights end up happening, but we are going to see the Slowbro get slowed down a lot right there. Tried to get the initiation, but the counter engage from the tree was huge. The
how much healing it does
be the first member down from Umbra Vulpium.
Yeah, we'd
when
already
we
seen
have
the
that
Bliss assistance used on the
full
Glaceon earlier to try to save them, but they had an
stacks.
eject button across the wall to get them extra HP. So now it's both of them down. Riker and the Blissey are gone. We have Blue Hero trying to reset the base. They are on a sliver of HP, so they immediately need to retreat. Trevor to the next one down, and G may have lost one member, but they have absolutely destroyed every other member of Umbra Vulpium. Blue Hero is still up in this fight, with Rayquaza not even being damaged. They can't think about trying to steal that major objective. G did go for a bit of a back cap, but shut down at every opportunity. Buzzwole brought down to about half HP thanks to that Glaceon, but the restoration plays from Egg-Noob's Eldegoss have been very, very good so far.
Now, a lot of the members of G are backing up. With 30 seconds left, and especially with Inteleon down, there's not really an opportunity for Umbra Vulpium to take down the Rayquaza. If they're going to win, they're probably going to have to go for a back cap. You can see a few members going, with the Glaceon up top. We're going to see a couple of Evolutions coming down. I'm sorry, the Evolutions on the side of G. We're going to see an attempt on the bottom, though, to back cap as well. Being defended very, very well by those Evolutions, getting all mixed up. Definitely not getting an opportunity there. Looks like up top, they're not going to get an opportunity, as well as a counter score from a few members of G. A great way to play a patient defense and make sure that they can hold on to even a 20-point lead.
Yeah, it was a lead for G, so they were going to win.
I don't think you can hear the sounds
give a small
of
shout out to
the
Rival on the
competition
Blissey
championship,
defending their
right?
goal zone there. Despite the targets spreading out across
I
the
don't
goal
know.
zone, they were auto-attacking one and egg-bombing another.
I'm listening to it. It's kind of really funny every now and then.
Lower score number Pokemon because they're going to score faster. So,
the
great, clever
Zoroark
defense, but just
is
not enough. Umbra
good
Vulpium not
Zoroark.
having the lead there. Detrimental, as G is going to be going into game number 2 with a 1-0 lead.
It was looking close, though, I gotta say. I mean, the points were looking close, but the one thing I gotta point out, the Buzzwole really popped off.
Yes.
Really, truly popped off. That looked like back when Buzzwole was getting banned every single time. That's how good that looked. But I love their comp.
Nice.
They decided,
They took that.
Buzzwole, like I said, it's just a strong early game, basically. It does not get that infinite combo later on, basically, that makes it so strong.
Right.
So really what you got to do is you've got to use how strong it is early to run away with things. So backing that up with 2 strong early EVs is like perfect. It's like, yeah, we're going to run with the start of the game, and we're not going to stop until the end of the game.
Yeah, I felt like the Mimikyu just was answered every single time. It does bring a tear to my eye to see that Pokemon lose, but well, Buzzwole really showcased why it is such a powerful option all season long, to tell you the truth. Despite the most recent changes, Wonder Chef still looking great. Take another look at this match, though, as G was really in charge of the majority of this game. Was a few nice moments from Kiro on the Inteleon, but the end of just a little too little.
Yeah, I think actually leading damage in the game, which is very impressive. But,
Where is your face
yeah,
cam?
the
I don't have that
G
today.
decided to play a
Well, it's
comp that
like
just
6
ran
a.m. now,
over the other
so
team. It worked
I just woke
perfectly.
up.
That was a big risk, right? If they had fallen behind at all, even or especially in the early game, that game would
I
have
wonder
been
if they're
1000%
okay.
different. But the
That's
fact that they were able
wrong.
to prevent the EXP from Umbra Vulpium and then get a lot themselves meant that they weren't giving them that chance to
This
even
guy's
things up
kinda
in the
really
late
freaky.
game. And you really have to stay on top of things for that. So really good stuff to how their strategy worked. I mean, that was a disgusting team fight that they saw right there. That was like a quadra from the Buzzwole alone, and almost could have got 5, but the Leafeon took 1 as well.
Yeah, so absurd. And Umbra Vulpium with a bit of a fumble in those last few moments. Bliss assistance being used early. Glaceon having to do a
can't
jet
get
button
one of
really
those
far away from
things
the fight.
by
A
itself,
few moments
so-
that just kind of didn't work together synergistically as well as they wanted to, and instead it was G coming out on top with a great slow beam by Slash. But our player of the game is going to be Zealot on this Leafeon. 6 KOs and 77,000 damage. A very good showing from them, running one of my
that's
favorite
true.
builds of this Pokemon, the Double Blade.
I love the double blade too. And one thing that I gotta say, specifically Solar Blade is extremely good alongside Buzzwole. The fact that Buzzwole so often gets to set you up into one specific spot, and the range that it throws you, even if it's moving forward or backward, is about the same as Leaf Blade. We've seen a lot of teams when they could get this combination, which has been banned so much earlier in the season. It was so strong to see. Dunk the Solar Blade, and you're basically done. There's basically nothing you can do about that. You're like, wow, that hurt out.
Can you imagine telling a team, even like in last month's tournament, that we would potentially have a team with Buzzwole and Leafeon on it? You know what I mean?
Neither at all. Even if it's just one of them, I'd say probably not.
Exactly. Such a prioritized pick, but that's the exciting thing about balance changes and what they can do to shift up the metagame. Even if sometimes the old school stuff, and old school last month, it still works very, very well. We've seen a lot of Leafeon sliding out of these ban faces, by the way. Been a bit of a shock to me in particular, and I don't know if it should stay around any longer. But let's take a look at some stats. Let's take a look at some stats for North America. G versus Umbra Vulpium. Average score, very, very close. I love those highest score ones. G 1201. That's just them at their best.
I mean, win rate though, very, very close. But Umbra Vulpium, a really high Rayquaza capture. Actually, you know what I should say? Compared to the other teams that you've seen on these stats, G's overall Rayquaza capture very low for how high their win rate is. And I think that's a great sign, actually. That's an extremely good sign that a team knows how to win without Rayquaza. And hey, what did we see this last game?
Exactly. Now our overall season, Buzzwole versus Blaziken. So Eco is actually playing a lot of Blaziken throughout the season. That's really interesting to know. Obviously, I thought the Mimikyu priority they showed was probably because they are a Mimikyu favorite throughout the season. However, this Blaziken looking quite good. 52,000 average damage. That's kind of what we see from all-rounders for the most part. See a lot more KO-focused options than just huge damage numbers. But OG on their classic pick for this whole season in that last game. And I think we can all agree why. They are dummy busted on.
Yeah, dummy busted. That's the official term, I think, the official terminology. But dummy busted is absolutely correct. And
Can you imagine if the in-game announcer was like, you get 2 KOs, like, dummy busted? I think it should do that.
Yeah, can we get a Zoinks voice pack, please?
It's only that.
Yeah, only that. Only that and 2 KOs and nothing else. We get to see the votes, actually. And, you know, we didn't get a chance to touch this. The other casters got a chance to touch it. And they said this felt weird.
They said the orange felt weird, I think. How do you feel about the purple?
Purple feels fine. I like purple. What can I say? It's actually really tough to do this. I'm not going to lie. Okay, there we go. That's doing pretty good.
Your career as a mime could use some work, I think.
It could. Yeah. It's not my strong point. I'll be back stronger next time as a mime.
Interesting to see, again, Twitch chat going with the underdog so much today. I don't know what's going on with you, Twitch chat, if you're just wanting to, you know, really make it big on the Gambas, but so far it is Umbra Vulpium being favored by Twitch chat.
That's, very, very surprising. Again, though, it's
that was ranked?
As I believe Zach said earlier, it's like some unknown factors between these two teams. Yeah. Where it's really hard to tell.
I'm not going to do the rank.
G is just really good. I'm really enjoying watching them. I feel like they've really got what it takes, especially, I mean, obviously we know the players all have what it takes, but so much of this season has been about seeing whether or not teams can actually gel together, no matter how good of a team or of players they actually have.
That's true.
All
right, we have Inder for, of course, Inder. I won't miss that one. To talk about this last game. Inder, I know you were just watching game number 1 between G and Umbra Vulpium. G looking fantastic. What is making this team so good? On like what they've had almost a flawless run through the tournament.
This team has a lot of players on it that excel really well when it comes to the last 2 minutes. You'll notice that Slash has really clever positioning, is always ready, whether he needs to body block some spears for his teammates or whatever it might be. And we also saw OG get back on Buzzwole. I know you guys talk a lot about those nerfs that impacted the Pokemon, but it doesn't mean it doesn't deserve a spot in the meta at all. I think OG really showing that there is another top lane Pokemon. When the Gyarados and Blaziken might not be looking so good, Buzzwole's still up there.
Alright, if you had to choose, rate your top 3 in order top lane Pokemon. This is all this top
でもなんかキュアは押すとなんか満足するみたいだから、キュアはを求めてる人なんや。誰だろうな。名前変えなきゃわかんないよ。誰だろう。天使の
The Pokemon pool goes deep.
わかん
Yeah,
ない。
that's a
なんで
really
ピッ
good
ピじゃダ
point.
メなの
I like that top three.
別にピッ
Defenders
ピのがいいん
definitely
じゃないの
having their
さっき
spot
バンしよ
within
うと
the
してた
top
から
half.
ピッ
We
ピ
see
がいい
that
のか
quite
と
a
思っ
bit. Umbra Vulpium will now have the chance to choose side. But Inder, we're gonna have to talk to you a little bit more because the draft is already ready. So thank you so much for your insight. We're gonna be jumping into game
あ、
two
グレイション取られ
between
た。
G and
ちょっ
Umbra
と
Vulpium here
オー
in
ラウ
a
ンダー多くない
moment. Here it is. Draft.
ディ
Number
フェン
two.
ダー欲し
I
い
should
な
have been way more specific with that question. I actually should have gone top 6 or something because obviously those three are just getting banned all across the board.
Right.
The Buzzwole ban, they said
Dang.
never again. They said you are not going to dunk us like that. Not one more time in this match. Hoopa ban as well, and then the Mew ban, which
Very
we've seen
cool.
a little bit more rare, but
Yeah.
usually targeted.
Yeah, very,
Oh,
very
arigato.
targeted. And Hoopa ban as well on the side of
下行く
Umbra
のかな
Vulpium. Also, again, to your credit, Wonder Chef,
わか
another
んないけど
team electing
逆
for
じゃない
second pick position. I think that was the question I was going to ask Inder, because I know
いいのか
Spraggles wanted to ask
Oh,
it as
yeah.
well, but that's all right. Slowbro and
選手の名前
Blissey
かな
being locked in
誰
for Umbra
うん
Vulpium immediately.
名前変わ
Umbreon's
ったよ
still
ね
on
なん
the
か
table,
だい
so
ぶ前に変わ
pretty
ってる
big
はずだから
surprise to see that Pokemon slide
なんだ
by UV in the first two
誰
picks,
しか言
but
ってない
G going to pick it up
誰なんだろう
very
名
quickly
前で
if
想
it
像が
is
つ
the
かないんだよ
opportunity
ね
to do so.
Yeah, I feel like there's some attempt from Umbra Vulpium to kind of control the narrative with supports, right? If you're going to ban a support and then first pick a support, I feel like you're saying like, okay, we're forcing you into a game plan. We'll see how well you adapt to it. But honestly, just choose 3 evolutions, you'll be fine.
Right. Yeah, I don't feel bad about being forced into Eldegoss, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
No,
It's true.
Agnew played an amazing Eldegoss in that
誰
last game, so I think we'll
誰
most likely see that again.
誰
Now,
なんだろう
Umbra Vulpium Egoist is locking in the Blaze again. This was
天
their
使の団
Pokemon
子
that they
か
have played the most overall in the season, so I'm very excited to
あ
see
写真で
what
わか
it
るか
looks like on screen, but it will be
わからない
OG, locking in the fish.
わかんない全然
Gyarados
誰だ
into the top half.
I mean, it's Umbra
誰
Vulpium's
だ
draft looks good, but it's so hard. Ooh, I like that Venusaur. We actually haven't seen
名前
almost
絶対変わ
any
ってるから
Venusaur
な
today.
Yeah, surprising lack of that Pokemon.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like we've just seen a lot of Mews for maybe beam situations. We haven't seen a lot of opportunities to go pedal dance, but I gotta
Hello
say, G's comp is ridiculous.
Hello, enemy.
3 of the potentially the 3 best evolutions right now, potentially.
Yeah.
Arguable. Definitely 2 of the 3 at very minimum. Eldegoss, which like you said, just did great. And then
The
Gyarados.
standard
That seems like one of
environment
the
is
strongest teams I've ever
awful
seen,
though
especially the fact
right
that
now
we're gonna have so much early pressure to help
Yeah.
feed that Gyarados its effort game.
Oh, exactly. Zealot's flanks are going to be favoring the Magikarp path
Like,
for the most part, I have to
the
imagine.
players don't
That's
have
why OG
held
to get to that
items
evolution
and
a little
stuff.
quicker. However, that's not always
I
the case.
think.
You are right. They have rotated offsides, but due to Leafeon's incredibly quick clear, you can get 2 different
誰だろう
flanks
本当
off
に
for
本気でわかんない
So, you can really have the best of both worlds in a scenario like that.
私がも
One
のすごいあれ持っ
interesting
て
note
る
in
から
terms of
ね
item, we are seeing it become very popular on the Sylveon is the potion. So Black running the potion on that Pokemon yet again is an incredibly tanky Pokemon, especially if they're going with the Mystical Fire option. I
なんかいる
have
なんかい
to
る
imagine they are
Yeah.
into this composition, so we're going to be
すごいい
seeing
るじゃん
a very tough to KO Black CH.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good other items you could choose when you're using Hyper Voice that
Right.
I feel like, you know, give yourself like, I mean, there's a lot of different options. So taking Potion, I feel like, is a pretty heavy sign that we are going to be seeing the Mystical Fire, but that makes it so incredibly tanky.
これ
We've seen
ラン
that
ク
before. We're going to see
ラン
it
クかドラフトだ
again.
もんね
G just needs to win one more game here, and they will qualify into winners for
チ
NAIC.
ワワが下の時点でなんかもう変な気分
Group showing, right? We talked about this team,
変
how
な
they
気
are
分
kind
で
of a mismatched squad. They
これ
built it for
外れ
regionals.
ないでって
What
ことなの
better
かな
to secure your confidence in a brand new
チーム
roster
さん
than
誰だろう
3-0ing out of your group? You really want to be playing for that. On the other hand, though, it's Umbra Vulpium with a lot more to play for. Their only chance at making it to NAIC to play in the top 8 bracket is if they win this one, and then of course the destiny is not in their hands, but it's their best option to give them a chance.
Ooh, this is really scary. Egoist is in a spot where they could very easily get KO'd and help feed this effort gauge for the Magikarp. Magikarp already getting a good amount of scores in, so pretty uncontested. Finally, 2 more are actually going to go assist up top from Umbra Vulpium out there. Of course, you can't be there 20 seconds of the match like a Leafeon usually can, but
天使の
that's
団
already a
子
pretty
誰
good head
こんな
start
にいたら無理
on that Gyarados.
All right, so the Leafeon and Umbreon holding down the top half after a few of those central area Pokemon were knocked out, Scavalier and Skeletor. However, this is what I was saying. Zela flanks to one side to start the game and flanks to the other. And we do have the Gyarados evolution, immediate selection of the bounce Dragon Breath. Despite how cool Waterfall is these days, we are still seeing all the top players rocking this build.
Oh, I do love Waterfall, but I gotta say, I believe that is the fastest Gyarados that we've had on broadcast so far today by a pretty huge margin. It
Okay, which side is the highest win rate in the NA 2024 season? Purple or orange?
Purple.
I've been talking about purple a lot. Are you also choosing purple?
agree.
Alright, it's my favorite color, so we will see. Egoist having to fend against multiple targets, but they're still stuck on poor, cute, adorable little Torchic. Not an easy fight for this player. Leafeon trying to dump 10 in, maybe a bit optimistic, but when you can just fully destroy that starter Pokemon for Gen 3 with a Solar Blade, I think you're feeling alright.
I think that G is feeling more than all right now. Purple side, 50.8%. 1%. Huh. That's actually less than I thought it was going to be. That is pretty balanced. Yeah.
50.8 is pretty good. I am very impressed. So, well, there you go. Choose purple side, people. Give you that slight advantage. Slash running the foul play. Umbreon to try to hit a couple of targets. Pull him within range of the Leafeon, and it works out perfectly. As G's Zealot's able to take a KO streak of 2. Charles is also in danger. They hit the level 5 though. They hit that second tier goal zone, which gives a ton more shielding than a tier 1 goal zone, and they are able to escape the clutches of the Leafeon.
I mean, barely. They're setting up for a pretty big overdunk as well in that bottom tier 1. We're about to get the first Reggie spawns, and look at this. I mean, such a gigantic lead in every aspect from G. Their plan was to have a strong early game. That's exactly what they did. They enabled the Gyarados immediately. Gyarados already level 9, tied with their other level 9. I mean, a level 9 Gyarados and a level 9 Leafeon. Those are two of literally the strongest Pokemon in the entire game, and they're both running away with things. They can easily not send everybody in a single direction and win both of these objectives. Potentially, it's not as a Genetic going to have it. They're definitely winning the Reggie Lucky, who's going to go into a tier 2 goal zone. And the basement Reggie, they've got a chance to, especially if they potentially have Solar Blade.
Yeah, oh yeah, great secure option within that Solar Blade. I actually don't know what Riker is playing on this Venusaur, and it is going to be the Pedal Drain build. I like that quite a bit.
こんなにフルタイムのチワワが必要とかいてほしい人っていうのも誰だか思い出せない。
Slash trying to dunk in as many scores as they possibly can. They are running both the attack weight and the AO scope, so double stacking, a lot of investment in their scoring strategy.
A lot of risk, but now that certainly they're in full stacks, I would have to assume. They are at least very, very close.
Now they're in full stacks.
Okay, there you go. But we also saw, well, that was weird. We saw nobody take the Reggie on basement, but they did take the tier 1 goal zone. So G is just continuing to run away with this lead. Look at that. That's a double KO in one.
誰も上かん。
G! Oh, that's why they're called G's, because when I watch them, they go G!
Yeah, exactly. KO streak of 3-2 as well. Zilla not quite done. Slash denying the Quadra, but still a fantastic look for G. Zilla's just been playing so well. I have to admit, their Leafeon is an unbelievable pick. I can't believe how much they're getting it. That's criminal in the draft phase, but I will say their Age of Slash was probably my favorite thing that we got to see today. That was so cool, but that's all right. The Leafeon doing so well for G today.
All right, this is the first opportunity for maybe Unrevolting to get some sort
Definitely
of
not a good choice for
Particle.
Mid or long-ranged attackers like Lycian. This battle is so long. What? Yeah. Missed mine.
The answer, I guess, is 4. Oh no, almost 5. That was
pretty
close. They're pretty scary, and they're going to hang around as well. We're going to have OG just try to take a little bit more from that center area, doing a great job.
Oh, dude, that's on the goal. That's on our goal.
OG's bounce. He was clearly charging one direction while facing it. The last second, flicked the analog stick, cracked up the sticks. OG. He's able to dodge back towards the center of the map. Now Reggie Alecki is going to be on the business end of this Gyarados. He's getting absolutely demolished.
Get rid of the Glacian.
Just shy, stealing away the Reggie Alecki.
Nice.
Yet another objective going in G's favor. One Regirock for them and a bunch of Reggie Aleckis, and only one goal zone left for Umbrella.
This is, for without a doubt, the most dominant 6 minutes that we've had all weekend.
100%.
And somewhere around 6 minutes that we've
the
had
most
in
dominant
recently,
6 minutes of the weekend.
That's been the goal of this team. G's comp is entirely based around winning early and then winning all the way through. They did a similar idea with all the evolutions in the previous game, and it's just working even better this time around. I mean, you know, Buzzwole, like I said, I've been saying it's great, but Gyarados is Gyarados. That in that top 3 that
Gather
you listed,
here.
and there's a reason, and there it is right there. The kind of self-initiation is ridiculous. Not only do you get the bounce, you get the unite, everything that you can do there adds 1-2 CC while doing infinite damage, and when you get KOs, it's got its passive. Gyarados is a monster.
If I'm gonna be honest, this
There was
feels like the dark side of targeted
something.
bans like Umbra Vulpium is bringing to the table, especially on Orange side. If you're gonna be hardcore focusing on specific players or trying to be creative in that aspect, it opens you up to the opportunity of G just picking the really good meta stuff on the other side, and that's why we're seeing Gyarados, Leafeon, Umbreon on these other options. Even Eldegoss, a very contested support option, was a very late pick for G. So their draft looks amazing, their gameplay is to match, and they're almost at 400 points before the 3-minute mark is happening.
Yeah, I do gotta say, I think a lot of the teams that we've actually seen a few today that go for the very targeted picks. The problem is if you're going for a lot of targeted picks, there's so many good Pokemon right now that you have to be willing to instant pick those other top Pokemon. And so, for example, they first picked Blissey, right? It's like, yeah, Blissey's very important, but you maybe should have first picked Leafeon or Gyarados or Umbreon. Like, you can't let first pick have all of those, or Sylveon, anything all is going. I mean, there's fights going on. I don't even know if we need to talk about them because we know exactly how they're going.
We've seen Solar Blade collapse, and now we're seeing Dragon Breath collapse. That was one Dragon Breath from Gyarados to take down 2 targets at once. 2 parts of the 3-piece that OG was just able to put together, and now with 15 seconds total, the Rayquaza spawns. Obviously, G with a gigantic advantage, and we almost have the level 15 Gyarados. Just starting out as a poor little Magikarp with the promise of popping off one day, and OG really making the lore happen here in our group stage.
I like that. They're kind of sitting there with the Gyarados. They're just chilling, waiting to see if there's a target to bounce on. Because without a doubt, the only way Umbra Vulpium wins this is winning Rayquaza. I don't think there's any other way. Yeah, even then, good chance they won't be able to. But they've got to find a great initiation. They've got to find a great slow beam. I think if there's any way they're going to do it, it's going to be a great slow beam, a really big Verdant Anger. They've got to find something huge. A nice little snipe shot to start things off. But the initiation is actually going to happen from Slash, just running through. What was that? Genuinely, what was that?
Just separating the team. I mean, Umbra
Casual, right?
the enemy squad.
No, wait.
Score the backline, and well, their score pace is
You said
obviously
this?
fantastic. Umbra Vulpium gonna take
No.
the runway they were given though and focus completely on this Rayquaza. It's brought down to about half HP, but now the lead
you're
also
joined?
back
No, you're not.
realm. Black's gonna go for the KO and not for the Rayquaza secure, so it is going to go to Umbra Vulpium, but it's only 2 members who earn the Ray Shields.
Yeah, I know you're
It's already
standard,
gone.
but
Dragon Breath immediately deletes the Rayquaza shield.
That was ridiculous how fast you delete a slow bro Rayquaza shield.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
Oh,
I mean, that is a level 15 Gyarados. And yeah, so many dunks into this main goal zone that there's just not enough in pocket for Umbra Vulpium.
I don't think you can hear me, to be honest.
They're going to get
So
some in, of course, but a really smart choice from G, the way that they played that. So not only did Slash first run through and get that kind of back cap while trying to distract them, but then we ended up seeing, I think it was Leafeon running through as well. It was another Pokemon getting a little bit more of a back cap as that was happening. They made sure not to take too many KOs as they were fighting for that Ray. They didn't put themselves in a really bad position, and they guaranteed themselves that they are going to be 3-0 and make it out of this group in winners, and that is a huge statement for this team.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like your call too with the Umbreon just running through the edge.
He just ran through. He just didn't use any moves.
did the game flip?
Heard of strategies when you're already up by a certain amount of score, just play for the back cap. Not often do you run through 5 enemies to get
Oh,
to
maybe
the
not.
goal
I don't
zone to
know.
do so. But Slash
Is it?
very comfortable with where they were positioned in that matchup. And G is going to take down Umbra Vulpium 2-0 fashion and put themselves as the number 1 in that group and enter into New Orleans in that winner's side of the bracket. What a showing from this team.
I think this is really huge for them as far as like a moral victory too, because of course there's some players that have won many millions of tournaments basically at this point, like a Slash. But GT, this is a main core of GT is what I would say, primarily, right? 3 members altogether, and they have had such an issue with closing out situations like this, right? I mean, the classic is they always somehow beat LG and then they lose and then they don't quite win the tournament. So many second places, but with the shift around, it might be the little boost that they need. And now all of these members that have been like, we're so close all the time, they're like, we're in there. We have that X factor.
All right, well, that's enough from us. We're going to throw it over to the analyst desk, who's not at the desk, they're at the stairs. The Spraggles, Noobs next. Take it away.
Wow. That was a big GG for G. That's a win, baby. If this is anything like my solo queue games, G will be making their way into Umbra Vulpion's chat right now to say GG, because that was a real hard one.
GG.
That's just one of those games, It just doesn't go well at the start, and then in the middle, and then at the end.
I have no idea what the question is about.
Let's take a look at some of these highlights, which is just going to be, rough.
So, it was always a blue team winning, right? The most dominant 6 minutes of the entirety of the history of the universe.
It just was really tough for Umbra Volpion. Obviously, game 1 looked quite different from this. Game 2, this is just, it really shows how certain Pokemon, when they get online early, they're really hard to stop if they're played by a great team. Like Leafeon is a prime example of this. Gyarados is another one. Gyarados just has this really crazy ability to evolve into essentially a level 7 Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true.
You make a big mistake.
Gyarados evolves into level 7 at level 5. That totally makes sense.
This time around, though, everybody on G was humming. I mean, that level disparity was just getting, like, ugly. Ugly.
It really was. And they had an interesting composition on the side of Umbra Volpion. They had some cool stuff that I wanted to kind of see how it was going to play out. Had they not let Gyarados evolve so early, we could have been looking at a very different game. But once they had that, I mean, G just, they really controlled the match start to finish.
Yeah, and here, I mean, they're literally just able to take the 4v5 because they're so much stronger that they get, 3 bodies while Umbra Volpion is securing Rayquaza. And meantime, they're outscoring the pace of Umbra Volpion despite their Ray Shield. So, I mean, bell to bell, great game from G, and a great way to put an exclamation point on their group stage.
Yeah, G's looking incredible. Zealot, player of the game. I mean, there were a lot of players in that game that were fantastic. This is a team to watch, and we wondered kind of how this team was going to shake out. When I see this roster being put together, it feels like it's the squad that isn't talked about from the shakeup as much. People have eyes on Luminosity, obviously. There are eyes on Orange Team, now Orange Juicers, and now G is really in the mix, up there with the best of NA. Could be the best team. It has a world champ on it, and they're looking like champions.
Well, let's take a look at our groups here as G was just able to 3-0 theirs. Let's not do that, actually, but let's talk more about, G surprising everybody as we're now back to the groups. We did it.
There we go. Taking a look here, G 3-0, Nihao 3-0, Orange Juicers 3-0, Nemesis 3-0, each group with a standout team. There are a few crazy situations still up in the air, right? We have Luminosity that could possibly, I don't know what's going to happen if Luminosity loses here in this next game. They might be out of Group C. We also have Ignorance and Team YT who are fighting for their spot coming up. Some really amazing games. But right now you can already see 4 teams that are going to be in your winners bracket live at NAIC. Nemesis, Orange Juicers, G, and Nihao.
I mean, what a performance from those top placing teams. Didn't leave it up to chance, clean sweep through their group, getting to the winner side of the bracket. We can't stress how important that is in this event because obviously there's money on the line, right? You're guaranteeing yourself top 6 championship points, which like a team like Exile, if they would have been in the winner side, that would have been gargantuan, especially because they're trying to outpace LG now. But for the rest of these teams, having 2 bites at the apple, because you get your winners bracket side,
they could have totally done that.
To try and spike this event and get your way to the World Championships, it's important. And now it's just a little harder for these teams that are going to be starting on the loser side.
Yeah, without question. It's one and done when they go live at NAIC. And when you are live, it can get kind of crazy up there. The nerves come out, and we're really going to see who the true champions are at NAIC. But we have some more incredible games coming up. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back. You will be right there. We will be right here.
今何回積んだんだっけ ?4 回か。Oh, sorry. Okay. ようかな。お、ん？ドリオさん絶対寄らないからね。オブジェクトに。でも6回積んであるから楽ですね。なんだあの戦いは。
The group stage rages on in North America Wonder Chef. We are looking at 2 more teams to be competing, this time for a spot out of groups. It's going to be YouTube versus Ignorance.
And this is maybe the most important match that we have. I can only move around so much, but honestly, as dramatic as we are, this is a dramatic match. This is a decider to see who makes it out of this group between two very well-known UCS teams.
Yeah, I mean, seeing a top 8
Team YT and Ignorance.
Just feels wrong, and one of them is going to secure their spot. It is going to be absolutely wild scenes between these two teams.
Yeah, and we've seen, I actually asked a question earlier a long time ago. I was like, have we ever seen YouTube on broadcast this entire season? Which is weird. We did see them one time in the qualifying match at EUIC, but we've very, very barely seen them throughout the entire season, which is rare. Usually they're one of the most common teams on broadcast, but I'm sad to see them again. Of course, with Pikatif back in, I think it's such a great addition. I think Pikatif's a great addition to any squad.
Pikatif back in, Chaotic back in as well, playing the attacker role for this squad. And of course, the household names you love, SoCad, Sam, Fui, and Akilo rounding up that squad. But in terms of Ignorance, this is a team that has been a fan favorite, honestly a caster favorite, if we're all being honest. A lot of really goofy, creative picks that just seem to work when in lobby.
Oh, yeah, and also, best names, Soup Chef.
No contest, really.
Jupiter, of course, very important.
Yes.
But yeah, no contest at all.
Absolutely none. Well, we're done over here. The casters are going to start.
この綿が何ができるのかわかんないけど、
Hey, look at it
綿
go
が
like
取る可能
that.
性あるもん
What's
ね。
up, everybody? We are back over here to cast this next game, a game that means so much for these two teams because one of these teams will be making it to NAIC in our bracket. The other, unfortunately,
綿
will
が
be
意図せず
going
取る
home
こと
or
も
staying
結構多いか
home.
ら。
I guess they're home already.
Stowing home. Stowing home. There we go. We're crushing.
Draft time. Here we go. Team YT, your purple team. Ignorance, your orange team. Our first ban over to Team YT. They ban out the Gyarados. It is now Ignorance's call. You know, something that Zoinks was just mentioning, they have a lot of really interesting picks on the side of Ignorance. Team YT also a pretty unique team. I would like to see what they're bringing out in some of these games. You know, Pokemon like Gardevoir are big picks for Team YT.
Yes.
Fui has a pretty deep pool of top path Pokemon, but I have not got to see YT in a while, so I'm not sure what they are playing recently. First pick, locking in the Umbreon.
Yeah, give
Umbreon
Pikatif the tool they want to play, right? Pikatif, of course, one of the more experienced land players, not just in Pokemon Unite, but as in Dimension, kind of just esports in general. They've been around the block. and they are a great person to give them something of comfort
強
so
す
they
ぎ
can
か。
vocally lead the team and focus less on what they have mechanically within the game.
Here we go. We've got the slow bro, and we have the Eldegoss. Over to Team YT. Fui possibly play in the tree. Fui on the tree. Very similar to his Buzzwole build, also, if that's what's going to be. Chaotic, looking to hover this Clefable here, but we're going to see what these next picks are. Wow. Pretty tanky squad on the side of YT. That's 3 defenders.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, literally gut all the options out from Ignorance. Immediately back to the Tyranitar's Ignorance. They heard the calls from Zoinks. They heard his tears. They saw the water pour from his eyeballs. And they said, we're going to run it back for you, kiddo.
I got to tell you, when you can hear someone's tears, that's when you know they're
Okay.
crying hard.
YouTube 見に来て、私の声を、YouTube の声を一切聞いてない方っていうのは非常に珍しいなと思うんですけど、まあ、ということなんで。どうしようかな。ランク、さっき一人で入ったら大変だったんだよね。確か。あ、でも次で終わりですね。一旦次で最後なんで。まあ、それで。っていうことで。短い。あ、YT さんだね。あ、全ポケなんとかさんっていたな、さっき。ちょっと私絶対嫌なんで。グレイシオンバンさせてください。あ、またやばい。BC つけんなって人いるやん。ミュウ嫌なんだけど、この全ポケなんとかさんが本当に嫌なんだけど、私は。多分この人グレイション使ってくれるでしょう。ミュウだったらミュウ、絶対グレイション、ブラストは大丈夫なの。自分で取ってほしいけど、そしたら。じゃあ今日は取ろうかな。何してたんだっけ今。あ、支配屋、なんて言うんだろう。ちょっと調べる。Tyranitar is great. It's a Pokemon that has massive shields that you want to just move through and start ripping at them with that true damage that it provides. We didn't get to see it shine in a massive way earlier. We're going to have to see what it's able to do here against YT.
What brought my attention is the Decidueye. So Inteleon obviously has a higher damage on the Snipe Shot, but the Spirit Shackle of Decidueye goes through multiple targets. And when you're literally trying to build a fortress of these massive tank front line, Spirit Shackle, although it doesn't do as much damage, doing less damage but over multiple targets is going to be invaluable for what Ignorance is trying to do, especially if Tyranitar is popping that Unite move and trying to, like you said, do that damage and get some real quality knockouts.
わかんない。この千原さん YT ってのは本当の漫画のキャラかなんかなのかな。どうしよう。じゃあ何がいるの？こうあればっかじゃん。アタッカーだね。待って。アタッカー、スピードスターがいる。じゃあこのキャラ、この色だけか。ピカチュウにする？ピカチュウはいらないか。ピカチュウもいいかもね。あ、いなくないか。どっちがいいかな。どっちがいいかな、マッカー。で、これ、2人サポーターいるから、まだこれ。はい、ということで、ちょっと待って。わかんなかったな、でも。アンブリン、私の交換？あ、無理ですね。できないですね、私はアンブリンを。できないですね、私は。ブラッキーはできないので。なんで私はできないよ。ブラッキーはできないって。うん、他の人に聞いた方がいいと思う。聞きすぎ、聞きすぎ。これカニとかだったらできるけどね。カニかキカだったらできるけどさ。ブラッキーはできないよ。できないし、向こうがあれだからさ、誰か一人黒マナス、でもそれもできないんだよな。 全く役に立ちません、ブラッキーやると私が。っていうのが昨夜分かった。ということで、できませんので、できません。なんか難しくないこれ。ソロでさ、なかなかスイッチできないよね。
Yeah, whereas like Larvitar is mediocre, but mediocre for a super long time. At least Kung Fu or even Zorua is not good, and then spikes at 5 and it's
done. Yeah, it's online, it's ready to go. It's got a massive power spike, it's got a big move. You don't get a lot here for this Larvitar, but they're doing a good job. It's already level 6. They're feeding it some experience here. It's going against the Pokemon that's kind of hard to beat.
ね。しかも今回車じゃない、なくていいだろうから本当は。
So you can see that in the top path for YT, they're in a great spot. They're out securing and they're taking care of 2 Pokemon. Their levels up. Fui is playing well. He's, I think, one of the unsung best top laners in the game.
I agree. Level 8, huge. Meanwhile, this basement Reggie is getting gobbled up by Team YT. Soup Chef's gonna move in, see if they can do something with it. No, they can't. But we did get Pika Diff evolved here, so they're immediately going to be able to collapse on Soup Chef, maybe do something on this goal zone. Ultimately ending up switching Umbreon onto a Kilo to kind of give it that support angle, and then true defender Blastoise is what we're getting out of Diff.
Really nice stuff here from YouTube, 119 to 0. However, Ignorance has a push in this top path. Fui is going to have to back up, and they are going to let this walk. It's possible they break right here. They also could leave it open. Going to be able to get a quick stack, and then a massive overcap. Yep. Great stuff here from Ignorance all the way back. Now 119, 109.
Yeah, using the opportunity that they had to and maximized on it, can't understate that. But look, level 10, level 9, level 9 on the side of YouTube. They're getting big quick. If they can keep pace, if they can keep this pace up and not get themselves caught, it's going to be real tough for Ignorance to battle.
We have something that's going to hit the map here very, very soon, and that's Tyranitar. And
it
can really change the game for Ignorance. They've been playing essentially with a handicap all game, right? And now very soon they're going to have their Pokemon. They're going to be evolved, and we're going to see what it can do into this squad. Tyranitar is here. It's making its way up to the top path to deal with multiple members of Team YT as they back away from this fight.
Something worth noting is, we have our big long-range characters in this Venusaur as well as Decidueye Spirit Shackle, but we haven't actually seen them join the fray yet. So we'll see who can have the bigger impact when they do decide to step up.
Yeah, we've not yet seen them really engage in a fight here. And we've got kind of a big one coming up. We have Unite moves on both sides. Almost every player on both sides. We still have 2 players on Ignorance that don't have them yet. But a ton of Unite moves are out. There's a mean look. Akilo able to run away from this. Pika Diff now pushing them back with that Hydro Pump. Spirit Shackle looking for a target here. As both teams are getting ready for this fight. And a lot is going to be decided right here.
A lot of damage immediately put on Jupiter, who's going to go after Pika Diff, who surfs away to safety. Really, we're going to take a deep breath. We're looking to scrap because the basement Reggies hit the map. Jupiter's making their way in, and so is YT. Are they going to look to contest or maybe just cheese a secure? No, they're going for the action. They're stepping. Diff tries to separate Soup Chef from the team. Burton Anger immediately Solar Beam KO Hydro Typhoon. Neon can't even step up, and Protein Shake is having problems too. Pika Diff is really keeping 4 players
Protein Shake?
While the rest of YT starts working on this Regice. They didn't do a lot of damage to it, Spraggles. Knock Arrow is out there knocking on the door, and they're knocking for some KOs, but no, KO's not found yet. But they didn't bully all of Team YT off this basement Reggie. Mean look is there. Umbreon goes down. It looks like Team YT is just looking to fade.
Team YT is looking to pull back here, possibly look for a steal. This entire time, Team YT has actually been focusing on getting Trevenant strong in this top path. They weren't as worried with this fight. They were hoping, of course, they could take something, but after Umbreon goes down, they peel back, they look for a snipe shot, and they didn't get anything done right there. We do see Alolan Ninetale goes down after that slow beam there. They're able to pick up another KO. Protein Shake in a little bit of trouble if they can hit with this snipe shot, and they do. Sorry, Solar Beam. If they can hit with this Solar Beam, and they do. We have Trevenant now level 12.
Yeah, Fui immediately scampers down so much so that Protein Shake just had to leave.
What is Protein Shake that they're talking about?
From Fui to that Gardevoir, it is gone in a heartbeat because it's so large. Now, so sad Sam able to get a quick KO streak of 2 back the other way to settle things down in the bottom half, and they still have a score lead.
Yeah, they have a score lead, and look at the levels right here. I mean, that's a level 12 Trevenant. Closest thing on the other side is level 11. So all the while, they weren't dealing at all with this situation in the bottom path. They were just making sure that Fui could take all of this experience in the top path and central area, and it's paid off so far. They're ahead, and they're ahead on experience, and the higher level a Trevenant is, the more difficult it's going to be to take down, even if you do have that true damage from Tyranitar.
Yeah, I mean, Umbreon Trevenant working together for the late stage of this game is going to be so difficult. Even with
Umbreon and Trevenant in the same team.
Basement Reggie Spriggles, and they got knocked out very quickly twice.
This is an interesting moment here because this bottom goal is open. We have multiple members of Ignorance kind of looking for it. Rayquaza's very soon. We have a bottom Reggie that's going to be a little hard unless these teams kind of full go for it here. And then we have this top path still open on the side of Ignorance. Someone could just walk up there and put some points in. YouTube doesn't need to do that, but of course they would like to extend their lead. Both teams right here feeling like we're playing an extremely patient game. We're getting ready for a big fight, and we're hoping that as soon as it kicks off, our Unite moves pop out, we make some big plays. T-Tar, though, level up 11.
Yeah, but it had some forward positioning. Maybe Fui just stepping up, saying that's not something
Yeah,
we're content with right now. 3 seconds, we got a Ray.
Ray is here, and these teams are getting ready for it. Ignorance knows they are behind right now. They know they have to make a play, but they knew that before Ray. They're pretty aware of how the score is looking. YT has great positioning right here. They're just trying to get, vision on Ignorance to figure out what they're going to do. We have Fui with the ability to kind of peel off and make a play if someone moves towards this tier 2, and now we have multiple members of Ignorance looking for their moment here. They're gonna have to make something happen, as we see YT just sort of tapping Rayquaza, seeing if they can pull them into a bad fight. Obviously, YT is ahead right now, so they would love it for Ignorance to just make a silly mistake, walk in there and eat a massive solar beam like Protein Shake just did.
They're putting pot shots of damage in, and Fui can step up. Another little solar beam engage, and we're surfing right to the middle. Eject button, Hydro Typhoon takes up 2. Fui is right there to pick up the trash there. Curse Pain splitting them, and Trevenant Unite right on top. Spirit Shackles are raining, and Knock Arrow is out, but it is just a tree in a face. The arrows are getting stuck in that tree, but that ain't splitting it yet. 2 players down instantly for Ignorance. Team YT says this is the opportunity we want. We're starting to chip into Rayquaza. Meanwhile, Decidueye is trying to find its way in, and Protein Shake on this Gardevoir.
The Quinn is definitely breaking that rule.
Rayquaza's getting low. Protein Shake's lining up the shot.
What we can possibly do is... They didn't. Okay.
And it's taken by the Eldegoss. Are you
They
kidding?
definitely will come
Putting all of Ignorance on their back.
I have no
after
idea. I
this.
didn't see what Eldegoss got it with right there. I thought it was either the Solar Beam or maybe the Gardevoir right here. As points are coming in, YT still ahead, but they still have shields down towards this bottom path. 221, 209. They need to stop this, and no, they can't. The true damage isn't enough. Now they're behind. 221, 259. YT needs to make a play right here, and they stopped them from scoring. There's still a chance, but there's no time left. They need to score, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it. They can't make it across the map. Ignorance takes game 1.
That was the wettest fart finish from Team YT I've ever seen in my life. Holy
Eldegoss, what are you doing? You can only do that.
I mean, it was a really tough moment. I think they thought they had them pushed out well enough that they could get a great secure there. Obviously, it couldn't happen. If they were to be able to break both of those shields there, they are still ahead. But YT now down 1 game. They need to win 2 in a row right here, or they are not.
Oh, what? Serious?
I felt like the rip was so slow, and they just didn't have it in the tank. And what should have been the red flag for that strategy should have been that Reggie rock, the basement Reggie flip that they're doing when they took a convincing team fight. Pikachuff was spacing 4 players out from Ignorance, and I was like, oh, they're taking the objective behind it. We pan the camera over, and
that was risky.
Reggie's HP was only down 30%, and then all of
I have to do the work after this, so I can't keep doing.
So it's like if you're setting yourself up to buy that much time, and
yeah, there's no win.
You need to take that thing down because they were sitting on it for a minute.
Yeah, it's tough too because they had great range secure on the other side, right? We had Fui kind of making sure that Decidueye was pushed out there, but of course you still had Gardevoir on the other side, and apparently you had Scrubblenot on Eldegoss, which was a huge difference maker.
Yeah, I mean ultimately, of course, you take out the
but nobody's dead, right?
For the other team, or high secure ability Pokemon on the other team, sure, but they did a lot of legwork for that to be able to happen there.
Yeah, I would say with how far ahead YouTube was, which wasn't massive, and the positioning they had around Rayquaza, they may not have needed to take this. But one thing that they were trying to do, of course, was secure their win condition. The longer Rayquaza exists on the map, the longer Ignorance has a shot to somehow win this game. They wanted to be the ones to make the play and take it. I respect it, but they couldn't get the secure.
Yeah, I'm watching here. I mean, especially with the tier 1 goal zone gone.
What a close battle
between
Team YT and Ignorance.
They had an opportunity to just have somebody peel and score here. I mean, they
Nine
took such a
Tails?
quality fight. They spaced them out so well. The follow-up on Pikachu
Huh?
was real.
They have 3 tanks? And no, 3 tanks? On Team YT?
While somebody went and scored behind them.
Was it Pollen Puff that got it? I couldn't tell if it was Pollen Puff or an auto from the Eldegoss, but there we go. Player of the game. I mean, they absolutely deserve it. Scrubblenot on the Eldegoss. The big play being that secure of Rayquaza with the potion.
Potion Eldegoss, baby. Battlegoss needs a potion. Scrubblenot getting it done here, pivoting to this Eldegoss quite a bit. I mean, we've seen some great support secures over the UCS seasons. And I'm saying this wasn't a great secure.
Okay, anyway, I have to do the work. I have to do some work, so... that's the end of the morning stream? Oh, what am I doing?
I'm sure they were all confused.
I might watch that later again.
Exactly happened right there. Same thing on the side of
It's
Team YT.
fun to
Again,
watch.
I always love the team that takes the more aggressive
breathless
play, goes for the win right
live,
there, but YT not able
like,
to get it
what
done.
do you call,
can see these stats here very
report.
close. 420 average score to 419. Very, very close. However, the win rate a lot higher for Team YT. Well, they're going to need it in these next 2 games.
Absolutely. They're going to have to leverage that because that 35% just bit them in the butt.
Okay.
Ignorance,
Alright, good day
one
to you.
game away from going to NAIC.
And,
Team YouTube last year at NAIC punched their ticket to
I'll